The Virginia Telecommunications Initiative awards $41 million in local funding for broadband expansion, and the Commonwealth receives Volume 2 approval. Bipartisan efforts on Capitol Hill to revive ACP. Lumos expands into the Buckeye State with a $230 million investment. Faster download speeds from Starlink. Diamond Sports and Comcast reach a truce. And the much-anticipated Venue Sports Bundle now has a price point. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin announced $41 million in broadband funding this week from the Virginia Telecommunications Initiative. A total of 10 projects across the Commonwealth should bring broadband access to more than 18,000 locations. The largest award of $12.2 million went to the Thomas Jefferson Planning Commission District and Firefly Fiber Broadband, a subsidiary of the Central Virginia Electric Cooperative. Other grant recipients include Spotsylvania County, $10.3 million, Franklin County, $4.5 million, Giles County, $4.2 million, $3.4 million was awarded to the Southside Planning District Commission, with Allegheny, Orange, Rockbridge, and Botetourt counties also receiving grants. The Virginia Telecommunications Initiative is administered by the state's Department of Housing and Community Development. The $41 million in funding leverages nearly $76 million in additional funding from local governments and internet service providers. Virginia also celebrating NTIA approval of their BEAD Initial Proposal Volume 2, another step closer to accessing their $1.48 billion BEAD allocation, which will also be administered by the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. Since 2017, Virginia has allocated more than $935 million in state and federal funding to extend broadband infrastructure to nearly 400,000 locations across the Commonwealth. ACP may have life after all. Bipartisan legislation has been proposed, which would provide $6 billion in new funding for the now bankrupt Affordable Connectivity Program. Representatives Mike Carey, Republican from Ohio, and Illinois Democrat Nikki Budzinski have proposed a bill which would be a companion to New Mexico Senator Ben Ray Lujan's Secure and Affordable Broadband Extension Act. In addition to providing ACP with $6 billion in funding, the House bill would tighten eligibility qualifications, do away with the program's one-time $100 subsidy, and also provide $3 billion for the FCC's RIP and Replace program, which aims to remove technology in U.S. networks originating from certain Chinese suppliers. The first version of ACP had more than 24 million U.S. households enrolled in the program. A substantial jump in speed for Starlink, with reports of its technology now reaching 8.1 gigabits per second download, with an upload speed of 2.8 gigabits per second. The advancement is in mobile gateway capabilities for large commercial or community users. In addition, the highly mobile Starlink mini device entered the marketplace in July, providing speeds of up to 50 megabits per second and featuring a setup time of 2 minutes. According to the latest industry satisfaction ratings from CableTV.com, Starlink, a subsidiary of SpaceX, had a satisfaction rating of 87%, behind only Lumen's Quantum Fiber service at 89%. T-Mobile continues to build its subscriber base with 406,000 new home internet customers during Q2. However, the company reported an estimated loss of between $350 to $450 million from the shutdown of the Affordable Connectivity Program. T-Mobile recently announced a joint venture with Lumos, along with the proposed acquisition with KKR of fiber-based ISP Metronet. And speaking of Lumos, an announcement of that company's first expansion into the Buckeye State. Lumos will invest nearly $250 million to build nearly 2,000 miles of fiber optic network in Mahoning and Trumbull County, Ohio, part of the greater Youngstown region. Engineering for the project slated to begin later this year. $70 million in funding to develop AI for productivity and security in the U.S. manufacturing sector being offered by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST. Deadline for applicants to complete the first stage of the competition is September the 30th of this year. Primary objective of the project, industrial resiliency for U.S. manufacturing, along with a focus on workforce development, shared infrastructure, and facilities. NIST is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce. Charter Communications has admitted violating FCC rules for 911 and network outage notification. A $15 million settlement was announced by the Federal Communications Commission this week. During one outage in February of last year, Charter failed to notify more than 1,000 emergency call centers about a service disruption impacting 911 service. In addition to paying the $15 million civil penalty, Charter will implement a robust compliance plan to both ensure network resiliency and future adherence to the FCC's 911 and network reporting rules. Venue Sports is making a really big splash, announcing a starting price point of $42.99 a month. That's a rate that should bring in a massive number of subscribers right out of the gate. The joint venture involving the Walt Disney Company, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery will live stream those companies' 14 linear sports channels, including ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, the SEC, ACC, and Big Ten networks, Fox, FS1, FS2, TNT, TBS, and True TV. Venue will feature live games from the National Football League, Major League Baseball, National Hockey League, the National Basketball Association, the WNBA, including tennis, golf, NASCAR, Formula One, and IndyCar. And on the topic of televised sports, NBC Universal's coverage of the Paris Olympics, bringing in huge audiences. The rolling 4-day total viewership average up 77% over the Tokyo Olympics. Record audiences also for NBC's Peacock streaming platform, which has seen usage surpassing the combined total of the last two Olympics. And finally, more good news for sports fans in a lot of markets across the country. Diamond Sports Group and Comcast have finally reached a new carriage agreement for distributing 15 of Diamond's regional Bally sports networks. Financial terms not announced. This deal follows previously announced agreements with Charter, DirecTV, Cox Communications, and Fubo. The truce between Comcast and Diamond Sports brings an end to a 3-month blackout. So, let's see, we only missed 110 games of the Major League Baseball season. Oh well, at least the Braves are finally back on Bally Sports South. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on This Week in the Broadband Universe.